Is it
What is
so?
up? We are live. We're talking about Vitrano, by the way. Anyone who's a Ranger fan in the chat, I already see we got a comment from Fly Life. What's going on, man?
I got a little distracted.
In case, so I'm Spartacris. Everyone knows I'm Spartacris. I got Zuplex over here on this side. We got one shot up here. Oh, wrong way on this side. And now we have a new guest. You've probably seen him in the chat every single week. He decided to join us on camera. What's up, Buttersworth? What's going on, man?
Yeah. Going on, fellas? How's everything?
Thank you for jumping in, taking this hour to an hour and a half while we yell at each other.
Absolutely. I love a joy. I love a good train wreck. Let's go.
Welcome to the chat. What's up, One Shot? What's up, Zuplex?
Brother,
Hope the
everybody
weekend's
doing?
been good to you guys. Hope the week's been good to you guys. And I hope, Buttersworth, I know you didn't watch Halo, but we're going to spoil it all. I hope the other two guys that have joined me today have watched Halo, because I want to go, balls deep, as they say, into the show.
Steve watched Halo.
Steve, did you watch it? He watched it. See?
Oh my, yo, this is a GGEN first, ladies and gentlemen.
You're witnessing it here live. One Shot has actually watched Halo. First time in, I think, since we started the doing the group podcast that he's actually watched what we're talking about. So that's good to know. But before we jump into Halo, I feel like, this is an entertainment podcast. We're talking about the whole entertainment world. I feel like we have to talk about the slap heard around the world. I'm sure you guys have heard about it, even if you didn't watch the Oscars. Will Smith, according to Chris Rock, slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
According to the video, slapped the shit out of him.
Yeah, I mean, if he was trying to get away with it, he didn't hide anything. He's on camera before, during, and after the event. What do you guys think? I personally think Will Smith, I've always been a huge fan of his, but he's just kind of over the last, 5 years or so, just kind of become more and more annoying. And then this, to me, is kind of like, you know what, man? I think I'm officially just no longer a fan of Will Smith. I just can't. What about you guys? What do you think of the whole situation?
Our guests go first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
man. I think it was stupid. I think it was dumb. Because to me, the joke was like tasteless.
Yeah.
But the minute because you see Will Smith laughing right before, right when he said the joke, and then once he looked over at Jada, like, oh my god, like that woman is a mess.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I actually think that what's funny to me is that I feel like if Chris Rock made fun of her inability to grow hair somehow, then maybe I could see the joke being like taken really like kind of a personally. But he basically just said your head's shaved already, so you can easily play G.I. Jane 2. I mean, he didn't really. It wasn't a great joke. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like it was the funniest thing in the world. It was a silly little joke, but to get that kind of reaction, I don't know. I do think my opinion is that I feel like for the last maybe 2 years, Will Smith has kind of been ridiculed, or the whole Smith family, I should say, has been ridiculed online because of the red table talk, and the kids have been kind of attacked. Will's been attacked. Jada's been attacked. So I feel like it was just the kind of the last straw. It was just one joke too many, and he said, "You know what? I'm so over it," and he went and did what he did, obviously. So I will say, Rampy26 just said, first he said, "Don't get me started on the girl that lives in high charity." And then he said, "Didn't Will Smith train in boxing for the Ali movie? That was not great form."
Apparently not well enough.
Right. I mean, that was a long time ago. Maybe he forgot, but that slap was a little, he was like off balance,
I mean, you got a lot of people saying it's fake.
No, but think about it. That's not even matter.
I don't think it was fake.
Chris Rock ate that.
People were saying it was.
And I've been seeing a lot of people say.
I've been seeing a lot of people say that too. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like what makes it seem fake are Chris Rock. Not that he leaned into it, but he clearly wasn't worried about getting hit. If it wasn't fake, he had no idea he was going to get slapped in the face. But there was no security. Like, you just let random celebrities run up on stage and don't try and stop them.
Security's going to jump on Will Smith. I think everybody thought it was a work until he actually, from what I'm reading from a lot of people that were there, that were tweeting out about it and everything, is they thought it was planned until he started screaming from his seat, "My wife's name out your fucking mouth."
Right.
Everybody was like, "Oh shit, this is real." That wasn't like planned. You could see by Chris Rock's reaction that like, he didn't know what to do. Like, he was trying to be a consummate professional. Will Smith was not professional in any way, shape, or form. The other thing too is like, opinion on this is, first off, Smith spent the better part of a year and a half, everybody thinking that he's a pussy for his wife's actions. Open relationship, having sex with another dude, making him cry at the red table, this other stuff. First, he was laughing at the joke until she rolled her eyes, and now he's got to fuck, I got to man up. I got to nut up here. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a bigger pussy.
Exactly.
So he went up
You better
and did
slap him or I'm gonna cheat again.
The thing about it is, here's the crazy part. Oscar had an all-time low viewership last night.
Right.
Until he slaps him. People start tuning in. The thing is, you think that if he doesn't get up and slap him, anybody tomorrow, or today, would be talking about that joke that he made about Jada?
No, nobody would. Nobody would even remember that joke. Nobody would remember. People are joking about it now because of that slap.
Exactly,
Nobody would have even talked about it.
Threw
Honestly.
more fuel on the fire by getting up and slapping him.
Right.
Now that's all anybody's talking about is his wife's fucking hair.
Right.
Him slapping Chris Rock.
Maybe he did it because he wanted to bring more awareness to those with alopecia, and he knew if he slapped Chris Rock in the face for that joke, the world would know.
That's the only one that
that's a hell of a way to do it.
That right now.
You know what I mean? But now, to your point, though, so you make two really good points there. Number one, the Academy, the Oscars in particular, most of the award shows, though, the viewership has just been dropping and dropping and dropping, and they need something, right? So that's kind of a knock towards maybe it was staged. But the other thing is that they're working. Chris Rock is working. Will Smith is working. Like, what other job can you walk up to your coworker, slap him across the face, and then, you get no repercussions, really? You're told to apologize and you just move on. To me, it's a very privileged moment there, because I feel like Will, he did it. I know he was angry and probably wasn't thinking about it, but he also did it knowing that there was not going to be nothing serious was going to come out of it. Chris Rock might press charges. Maybe he'll pay a fine or something like that, and then he's just going to go right back to being a millionaire and just freaking, I don't know.
Rock ain't pressing charges, but I guarantee that Will's never going to get hired in anything that Chris Rock wants to be involved in again.
Well, not Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, Chris Rock. I mean, that whole crew, Kevin James, they still work. They all make movies. You know what I mean? If Will Smith wants to go to Netflix, I feel like Adam Sandler has enough pull to be like, didn't you slap my buddy in the face on national TV? Yeah, get the hell out of here. Go to Apple TV.
Yeah. Part of his job is making jokes.
Right. It wasn't even a bad joke, man. I've heard so many comedians have said so much worse to so many people. Like, I do laugh, though, and people are saying online that imagine if it was like Dave Chappelle or, really any of these comedians that really just don't give a shit and will try to come up and slap them. Like, they would have went for 7 hours. They would have said, I'm throwing the entire script out and I'm talking about Jada the rest of this show. Like,
100%. Dave would have.
100%.
The Rock made that joke. Will Smith is not getting up and slapping that dude.
I do think, for me, what would have made the whole thing great is if Will goes to smack Chris, and if Chris ducked under it with his hands up, like, whoa, what's going on here? And just really made Will look like a pussy. I would have loved it.
No, but didn't you see after he got smacked, he cocked his hands?
Oh yeah, no, his fists were balled.
He dropped him.
And there's that one moment where he's looking at him and he's like, oh, I could tear you apart right now. But again, Chris Rock, I feel like he's not getting enough credit for how well he composed himself. He didn't kind of stoop down to Will's level, and he just continued. He did his job. You know what I mean? I also thought it was a little ridiculous too. There's that one video going around where you see Denzel Washington and I think it's Tyler Perry going to console Will Smith right at the next commercial break.
Yeah,
like, you're going to console the guy who slapped a grown man on TV. Who's going to Chris Rock? Who's going to him? You know what I mean? Like, it just made so crazy. Rampy26 says, fight night, Will Smith versus Chris Rock, battle of the year of the hair, main event, WrestleMania maybe. Hey, I'll go for it.
Denzel stood between Chris and Will when Chris was trying to apologize to him.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that. Yeah, because Will Smith's not on Denzel's level. Denzel, imagine someone tries to slap Denzel, he'll fucking kick the shit out of you. He wouldn't even have to. He'll snap his fingers, and the Academy Awards will just jump on whoever he's pointed at.
This is gonna see what's gonna happen. This is gonna boost up the viewers when they come out with Grown Ups 3.
Yeah, Will Smith will be the main villain in Grown Ups 3.
The bigger thing is, there's so much that happened, and no one's talking about this, which is crazy. I screenshot sent about it to me last night. During Will's acceptance speech, where he started crying and had a cut from him because he was just getting like lost it. They cut to Serena Williams, her whole tits out.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that. Oh, well, you know what? I'm Googling after this podcast.
Just the logo.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't see that.
I was impressed.
Oh, it was Venus, not Serena, apparently.
Well, hey, listen, a tit's a tit. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's an embarrassment. I mean, the show's already kind of getting worse and worse, and then, you know, they removed a lot of really important Oscars that are people that don't have, to me. So I was saying this to my wife earlier today. It's like the Oscars are supposed to be about the people behind the scenes who don't get a lot of recognition, getting their night where they're kind of known. The stuntmen, the coordinators, the choreographers. I mean, the cinematographers, the editors. Oh, Scythe jumped in. Hold on, I gotta fix the camera real quick. And I feel like this kind of overshadows all of that, and they also removed a lot of those trophies. So they really just kind of screwed everything up, you know. They did
this whole thing where they did a whole bunch of pre-recorded acceptances before the crowd was in there, and video cut in pictures, like video of the crowd clapping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like Oscars have become such a mess every year. I feel like it all started when they fired Kevin Hart. No.
Yeah, no, you're
right.
right.
That year that they fired Kevin Hart and they had no host, and it's just been a clusterfuck ever since.
That's another thing, though. You think Kevin Hart wouldn't have made jokes like that? Like
she would have.
Such a crappy joke to kind of get freaking mad over. I just don't.
It's a terrible joke. What's up, everybody? By the way,
what's up, man? What's up, Scythe? Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Apologize.
Thank you for throwing all my cameras out of whack.
Yeah, I mean that's what I gotta do. I gotta change it up a bit. I gotta switch it on you.
Keep me on my toes.
If you can't take a joke, especially for Will being a comedian, like that's crazy to me. It's crazy to even think that it was okay to get on stage in front of millions of people to just smack somebody for a joke that wasn't funny, but it wasn't hurtful either. It wasn't that bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I just really don't feel like it was that bad. I feel like it was taken way too seriously and for no real reason.
See, but the thing is too, she went on social media talking about it, and she seemed comfortable then.
Yeah.
Now that he made the joke, now all of a sudden, oh wait a minute, my feelings are hurt. Like, are you serious right now?
It was a joke.
Yeah.
From a comedian.
That's what comedians do.
Yeah, no, she was a problem.
Ricky Gervais pretty much called the entire crowd pedophiles, and no one got up and slapped them.
Right. But there's been
what happened?
There's been so many jokes that
At
are a lot more serious.
A couple years ago, Ricky Gervais pretty much got up and called everybody pedophiles.
Oh, he roasted the whole building.
He's a good example. He said so much worse about so many people in the industry. And people laugh. People just joke. If you don't like it, you keep your mouth shut because he's somebody who doesn't care. And if you get mad, he's just going to keep coming at you.
There was that shot of Tom Hanks with his face all screwed up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I believe he said that. You know,
it does make me laugh, though.
Slapped him.
It does make me laugh. These are people that, glorified Harvey Weinstein for the longest time. Definitely knowing of the shit that was going on, and only when it came to light did they finally go, "Oh yeah, he was a bad person. I don't really like him anymore." Like, come on.
We heard rumors, but we didn't really know.
Yeah, didn't really know my ass.
No, I heard a real funny joke earlier today. They go, instead of Chris Rock, imagine if it was Alec Baldwin saying that joke.
Yeah, I seen that.
Real quick, Emily Gilmore in the chat says Will Smith is a bitch. You make him look weak. He had to look at his wife before making a move, and you made Jada look weak because she needs her husband to defend her.
Exactly. Listen, I've been bald this is out 16. I ain't dead yet.
Yeah. Rampy 26 says no one knew of the Oscars till the slap heard around the world. That's what I'm calling it too, Rampy. I think that's a proper name for it.
Yeah,
correct. I didn't even know it was on until somebody texted me. Was like, Will Smith just smacked Chris Rock. I'm like, wait, what?
But that's it right there. I'm such a movie guy. I love all kinds of movies. I watch them. I dissect them, whatever. And I didn't realize the Oscars were even on yesterday until I went on TikTok. and people were talking about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, and I was like, wait, what's going on here?
Question.
Like,
we've all been talking about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. Won Best Picture last night.
Coda.
Yeah.
Never even heard of that movie.
So this is what's sad though. That not only that movie was like nobody even expected it to be nominated, let alone win. So it's like a Cinderella story on winning the best movie Oscar. On top of that, the whole movie's about like I believe it's like a deaf family trying to like sort of just live and all that stuff. The actors were the first deaf actors to kind of be a part of a best movie picture. Completely overshadowed. I mean, you're talking record-breaking, groundbreaking stuff happening, and it's overshadowed by Will Smith having a moment of bitchness, basically, and smacking Chris Rock in the face. And that's just messed up.
I read something Jim Carrey put out, and that's pretty much what he said, that it ruined everybody's moment that night.
Yeah,
it really did. And
it was selfish.
There was a lot of firsts. If you Google it, there's a good amount of firsts at the Oscars, and all anyone's talking about yesterday and today is the
Will Smith's first. He ruined his own moment.
Yeah, you're right.
His acceptance speech was an apology. Like
Rampy 26 though he makes a good point though, and I agree with him on this one. On Rampy on this one, it did not ruin the memes. And to me,
no,
this is what the internet is for. This is where
the internet is undefeated.
Like
they are the GOAT.
They have taken this. They have come up with so many jokes that Will Smith single-handedly recreated the Batman slapping Robin meme. I mean, they've run with this, and here's what Will Smith didn't think through, though. He got mad. He's like, I'm going to slap this guy in the face. What he didn't think is that now forever, he's going to be reminded of this moment. No matter how dark he wants to act like he's all upset and crying, he's going to be reminded of this moment because he's going to see himself in those memes for the rest of his life. For the rest of his kids' lives. This is not going to go away for a long time.
The funny thing, did you read the tweet that his son wrote?
Yeah, that's how we do it or whatever.
He was like, that's how we do it. I'm like, man, let me see you in the streets and I'll smack the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You talking about Jaden, or what's his name?
Jaden.
Yeah, Jaden.
Yeah. I mean, the whole family.
That's what we do. Okay, buddy. That's what you do.
To be perfectly honest, but
like you're not like you tell Jaden, but like, listen, you're not even from Philadelphia, okay? You're from LA, okay?
Yeah.
Like your dad is from West Philly. At least that's a little acceptable.
You were born at the Oscars. Right. That's not what you do.
Like at least Will's a little hard, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like he had an upbringing a little bit that gives him a little street cred, I guess. But Jaden, no way. Come on, no way.
Yeah, see, yeah, exactly. Will Smith could get away with that, but Jaden's like what, 115 pounds soaking wet.
I think you're giving him about 20 pounds there. I don't even know if he's that much.
But listen, okay, we'll give you some credit. You trained with Jackie Chan when you did the Karate Kid, but no, it ain't flying in the streets.
Benny 2755 says Sound of Metal is better than Coda. So if you guys want to watch a movie, Coda was the winner. And Sound of Metal seems like it's a better movie, according to one of our guests here.
Benny?
Emily Gilmore says about Jaden Smith's tweet. He said, "This is how we do. Do what? Watch your boy fuck your mom." Because that's really what happened, right? She basically groomed his friend, her son's friend, and cheated on Will with him. At least that's what the Red Table Talks are. Anyway, all right, we gave it enough time. That's it's a shame, to be perfectly honest. But let's move on to a different topic. This is going to be a divisive topic, especially for I think with Zuplex and one shot. But PlayStation just announced their updates to the PlayStation Plus membership, so they can compete with Xbox Game Pass. What do you guys think of that? Let's go, Scythe. Since you just jumped in, what do you think of that?
I don't want to go first. Let somebody else talk.
Yeah, you talked about it already. For anyone who didn't know, Scythe does his own podcast on the weekends, mostly focused on gaming. And I know you gave it a lot of thought. So how about one shot?
Yeah,
let's give you
I want to hear other people's opinions before I dive in.
Yes, I'm an Xbox guy. You already know my opinion. PlayStation's trash, and they're just trying to bite another style off of them.
I mean, short and sweet, but it's pretty accurate in my opinion because I do not think they did a great job. Like with this announcement, it just did not seem like it actually fixed anything. So basically, for anyone who doesn't know, when you get PlayStation Plus right now, you get 2 free games every single month. You get the ability to play online, and then you get exclusive discounts.
You actually get like 3 to 4 now.
Well, yeah, they've
3 or 4
upped
free
it
games.
to maybe 3 games. You might get a
Yeah.
free VR game here and there, but you get a lot of
Mhm.
discounts. It's very basic stuff. On Xbox Game Pass, you get to basically play any first-party game for free, essentially, included in the service. You get to play it right away, at launch, I should say. And you get to play a huge backlog of Microsoft Xbox games. So the one thing that Sony fans have been complaining about is how come we don't get something similar. So PlayStation, I think yesterday or whenever, announced that we're getting this, this new update to PlayStation Plus. If you're a current PlayStation Plus member, nothing's going to change for you, just added benefits. I read the details today. They basically said if you want to play their backlog of games, you got to pay extra now. It's more expensive than the Xbox Game Pass. On top of that,
Not really.
it's only
Not
$2,
really.
but it's still more expensive. And then on top of that, they flat out said they will not release the first party games day one on the streaming service. So I think what I did read is that maybe they'll release like almost like a demo, an extended demo, maybe a couple hours. But the game itself, if you want it, you got to pay full price for it.
Yeah. So basically, Sony's biggest mistake is neglecting to add the one feature that everybody actually wanted in this new service, which was a day one launch title. Like anything that comes out, like for Game Pass, Halo launches, I had that thing downloaded the day it came out.
Right.
That's what people want. They want the new games. They want, if they're going to pay you monthly, and especially the more expensive prices, if they're going to pay that price, give us the games. Why do we have to spend, let's say, $12 a month and then still spend $70 for a new game when it comes out? Like, a subscription service should have the benefit like Game Pass is offering. And you want to be a competitor to Game Pass, but you already lost without having that feature. Like, it's over. It's like, there's no coming back from that unless you add it. Having the backlog is nice, but how often are you going to go into that backlog? Let's be real.
What makes me like laugh is that I already have a backlog of games. I mean, especially when downloading all the free games and all that stuff, I have a long list of games that I haven't even touched. And now they want me to pay double what I'm paying now to have access to hundreds of more games that I've either already played because they're from anywhere from PS2, 3, or 4, or I have to find time to just add to my backlog. It'll just never happen. So I don't anticipate them getting a lot of people switching over to the service.
The thing with the pricing is if you only get Game Pass for the PC, it's $10 a month, which is fine. If you get it for the Xbox, you're still paying $15 a month. So it's on par with what Sony's doing, but they even have a tier beyond that, which still doesn't give you the day one launches. So it's
like I don't get why their biggest tier should give you the day one launches, or maybe if they don't want to do day one, fine. At least guarantee us that it'll be available like the month after. Like
a month later.
Give us
give it a month,
frame, but let us know that it will come. Because to me, if at the moment they say you can play the AAA games, at a certain point, but it'll be included in the service, I'll switch over. I have no problem switching over. I have Game Pass, so like. Now it's set up on the computer. I can literally play it sitting here at my computer. Like, it's just such a silly thing that that they don't want to do that. They want that money. They want that $70 per game.
Game Pass is a fantastic service.
Longest time, I had to hear from you PlayStation guys. Well, at least we could play online for free. And now you guys got to pay. And you're all upset about it, and they're not giving
We've had to pay, though.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
They're not giving you the extra games and everything like that. All I'm hearing is that
they are giving us the extra games. What are you listening
players
to?
Better.
We're still getting all the same benefits. We're just not getting first-party games.
Yeah. We're not getting the one thing that everybody wanted, and that's basically the problem.
I mean, this
one thing that Xbox has been giving their people.
Yeah, Xbox the one thing Xbox has been giving their players is Halo. So I mean, you guys can be good with Halo. I mean, I still want my AAA like good single player games.
But at the end of the day, is like maybe this will stop the PS5 network from getting hacked, like the last previous PlayStation networks did.
Dude, the Xbox gets hacked all the time. Also,
never, bro, stop it.
Never. It's all over the place. It happens.
We haven't had our personal leaked online.
Xbox Live goes down.
Rampy 26
Every
says,
time
who
often.
has God of War or Crash Bandicoot? Well, Crash Bandicoot's a bad example because that's on all the systems now. But God of War is on PlayStation.
Yeah.
You can't play as the Norse God on Xbox.
I think Microsoft owns Crash Bandicoot now.
Yeah, that's not a...
Yeah.
That's a bad example, Rampy. That's a bad example. Benny2755 says they need to take the time to figure out their pricing strategy. Either you're beating Xbox or you're joining them. So, but that's my thing. The one area where Sony does not compete with Xbox, and
Game Pass.
Scythe and I have been saying this for a while, is Game Pass. Game Pass is a phenomenal service, but the thing is, Game Pass allows people like us who don't want to buy an Xbox to still play all the games that you Xbox players are playing for cheap. So
that's what I've been saying this for the longest time.
Right.
Game Pass actually cannibalizes their own product because you don't need to buy an Xbox to play these Xbox games.
Exactly.
So it's great for me because I never have to walk into the store and buy an Xbox. But regardless, it's a great service.
It
for
really
gamers.
is a good service for Xbox
And
system.
Sony just drops the ball.
Yeah, and that's because, and I'll gladly admit it. It's because Sony is selfish. They're greedy. They want money, and
they're ran by pedophiles.
And they're ran by pedophiles.
Oh God!
Excuse me. Wait, let me go over and slap one shot in the face. Get my system's name out your fucking mouth. Excuse my language. So, I mean, that's the update on the PlayStation Plus. It's really not a lot to talk about. It wasn't, they try to act like it's some big announcement. It really wasn't the greatest announcement.
Yeah, it's
a small
nothing's changing. Nothing's changing on my end. I'm sticking at the same price point.
All they really did in the end is they combined PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, which they really should have done probably from the beginning.
And if you want the Now library, you cough up the extra few dollars.
Yeah. But now let's move on. This is the topic of the hour. Super Nintendo and One Shot look like they're having a big verbal argument in the chat.
Before we get into the main topic.
What's up, Suplex?
Moon Knight dropping tomorrow.
Right.
The Top Gun Maverick trailer dropped today.
Oh yeah, if you haven't checked it out yet, Scythex did a reaction trailer. It's on the YouTube now. I really don't give a shit about Maverick or Top Gun or whatever the hell it's called. Not that it's a bad movie. It just doesn't need a sequel. There's just no reason for a sequel. It's such a cash grab.
Absolutely
I don't get it.
Needs a sequel.
But obviously we have some fans here.
Phenomenal.
We get to see Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise in a fighter jet.
All Tom Cruise should be doing now is Mission Impossible.
Yeah, exactly. You should be doing Mission Impossible.
That makes less sense than Top Gun.
But it's more fun.
Mission Impossible 27. 90-year-old Tom Cruise hanging off of a helicarrier or some shit.
I mean, let me guess. We're going to see Tom Cruise run at full speed. He's going to ride a motorcycle in a sunset at some point. He's going to fly a jet. And
they already showed that in the trailer.
That's
it's amazing.
It's all just basic shit.
That
basic shit.
Showed him in the jet. They let us know that Rooster, the guy he's training, is Goose's son.
So exciting.
Right?
It is.
I'm the worst for that.
Right now.
I just don't think it's that great. Listen, it was a good movie. The original was good. But...
Get on the highway to the danger zone, okay? Right, and come along this Top Gun, trip with us,
bro. Every point of view of them in the fighter jets was just incredible. The shots, the camera angles, it was just super cool, man.
I don't know.
It was super cool.
Big Pat 77 says, "I'm convinced Chris is just a hater." I'm not a hater. I just don't get excited for things that we don't need, like a sequel to Top Gun.
That's a hater.
It's jealous.
Excited about it,
right?
And I'm like,
this is nothing special. I actually think that Hot Shots was a better sequel to Top Gun than Top Gun 2.
Hot Shots is a phenomenal movie. I love that movie.
Hot Shots Part 2, by the way, is currently on HBO Max or Hulu or one of those.
I love that.
Hot Shots.
Big Pat wants to bitch about Halo. Look, everyone wants to bitch about Halo. But
we're getting
Top Gun 2 is coming out soon, so I guess we have to announce that also. Don't forget, Halo Episode 2 is actually tomorrow, too. So we have Halo tomorrow, Moon Knight tomorrow. Top Gun is May, I think, right, Zuplex? Is that what you just said? Top Gun is May.
Reports released the first 4 episodes of Moon Knight to the critics. I've been seeing crazy good.
Yeah. A lot of good reviews.
It's like 77. 77 Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah. And they're specifically they're talking about Oscar Isaac. They're saying that he really kills it in this role.
Yeah. Specifically Oscar Isaac. They're saying there's not any connection so far to the rest of the MCU, which we kind of heard about already.
Which is fine. Not like we know eventually it will be connected, so it's fine. It doesn't need to kind of start off that way.
What I'm hearing is that it's dark, and Isaac's performance is outstanding.
Right. Wait, I'm getting text messages from people
tomorrow.
who should jump into the chat. Hold on.
You know, I saw a thing that all the way back in the Winter Soldier, Marvel teased Moon Knight. Agent Sitwell talked about a Cairo reporter, and apparently it was.
They're saying that was Moon Knight.
Yeah, apparently it was a little Easter egg tease towards Moon Knight.
It could be.
Okay.
Real quick, I just got a text message. I don't know why they didn't say it in the chat because I prefer it in the chat. But a friend of mine just texted me and said, "Your Top Gun Maverick hate is both disgusting and unwarranted. Get off your cash grab high horse and embrace Maverick, damn it." I added the damn it because I felt like it sounded more interesting.
Like that individual.
Listen, we prefer for
they like you, Mark.
Mission Impossible like Ric Flair ran the wrestling business.
Yes.
Running until you're dead.
Big Pat says Top Gun is an adrenaline-fueled movie. If you don't like that, then you're wrong. Listen, I didn't say the movie's going to suck, and I didn't say I'm not going to enjoy it. What I said was we don't really need it. It's just we don't need a sequel to Top Gun. The original is a classic.
We don't need half these movies, but they're awesome, and I'm going to watch them, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, I can't argue that one. That's
No one's saying that Top Gun's going to be like the best picture of the year winner or anything like that. Like, it's like a Jurassic Park movie. Like, you want to see a velociraptor ride on the back of a T-Rex. Like, go. Like, I'm not looking for great acting and this, that, and the other thing. I just want to see shit blow up.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
I want to see fighter jets battling in the sky.
Volleyball scene on the beach. You know what I'm saying?
I'm really gonna laugh when you guys watch it and you don't like it. I'm gonna be like, so "What do you guys think?" And you're gonna be like, "It was trash. It was garbage."
Yeah, I already love this movie. I'm in 100%.
The trailer was fucking phenomenal. Even if that's all
great trailer. Great trailer.
Real quick. Another announcement. 2 more announcements actually. Ozark, the next half of the last season or however they did it, starts in April 23rd, I want to say. So that's coming soon.
Sick.
Keep an eye out for that because I'll definitely talk about that. I love that show. And the other thing that I just saw before we jumped on the chat, I don't know if you guys saw this, but if you're a fan of the It movies, there's an It prequel series being made for HBO Max that is going to delve into the history of Pennywise and the demon and all that kind of stuff in Derry. It's going to be called Welcome to Derry. So, I don't know, again.
Talk about unnecessary.
Yeah, I was just going to say, talk about things we don't need. But if you're interested, if you like horror stuff, there's not a lot of good horror shows, really. So, that could be an interesting kind of thing. That can be an interesting show.
That sounds similar to that Castle Rock show that was on Hulu.
Would you say, Suplex?
That sounds similar to that Castle Rock show that was on Hulu.
Yeah, probably similar to that. And what about you, Buttersworth? What did you say?
Stephen King stuff. Stephen King stuff or something like that.
No, I was going to say, don't forget Mine season 4. If you're not a fan of it, you should watch it.
So what's funny? So I'm a giant fan of Sons of Anarchy. I love that show, but I never watched Mines. I just I wanted to watch it, but it just kind of never started.
You need to watch it. You need to. If you're a fan of Sons, even a remote pinch of being a fan of Sons, you're gonna enjoy Mine.
It's a good.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Everyone I know who watched Sons that watched Mayans didn't really like it that much, so I never kind of went out of my way.
I don't know how. You got everything that you would expect from a Sons type of show in Mayans. You get that. You get that.
I will watch
when they do shows like this, like spin-off shows like this. That everything that happened with Breaking Bad and that Better Call Saul show is that Breaking Bad ended so perfectly. I didn't need anything.
So that I agree with that. That's my one thing with Sons of Anarchy. I don't feel like I was waiting for a sequel or anything like that. I didn't need anything else.
I didn't think I would care this much about the Mayans. Really? The way the Sons ended, I was like, the Mayans were the rivals. We spent 8 seasons hating on them. And this show flips it. You're on board with the Mayans 100% all 3 seasons. So I'm excited.
All right.
I
All right, we got to move on here now. All right, because I have the green lights in the background. We got Scythe and One Shot with green lights. I know One Shot is
And
dying.
I saw the green. I had to jump in
to give us his opinion. So I'm going to switch over to One Shot, and
You're dying.
we're going to talk about the Halo TV show. This is what everyone's waiting for anyway. One Shot. What did you think of the show?
I was good until the 51-minute mark.
And why is that?
Took his fucking helmet off.
But now, hold on. All right, I see. So we talked about it before the show, right? We talked about it before it aired. I didn't want him to take his helmet off either. I played the Halo games, specifically the single player, for the first 2 games. I played a lot of the multiplayer back in the day. I haven't really followed it since then. However, so I didn't want him to take his helmet off. I felt like they did a good job of at least giving us a good reason why he takes his helmet off. I think for me, because I kind of agree the helmet really should be a big part of him, is if he puts the helmet back on and only takes it off here and there, I'm okay with it. If he goes from here on out, though, without a helmet, then it's like you kind of fucked up the character a little
I'm
bit.
putting the helmet back on.
You don't think he's putting it on at all?
It'll go on for when he goes into battle. That's it. Because the whole thing was, and they made it a point to show you this, which is why, listen, I liked the first episode. I wasn't blown away. I wasn't like really, really happy with it. It was good. It was good.
So
the problem for me is that.
Hold on, real quick. Super Tintendo just pointed out One Shot finally watched one of the shows we're talking about. So for anyone who jumped in a little late, One Shot is the guy who never watches any of the stuff that we're talking about, and he watched it. And he's promised me, he swore to me he's going to keep up with it the entire season without fail. Those are his exact words. Unless I put that in his mouth. Go ahead, Zuplex.
First, 20 minutes of this episode was amazing.
Agreed.
The battle scene was great. Even with the clunky CGI at some points where jumping in the suits looked fucking stupid at some point.
Janky, for sure.
I no other way of seeing it. Like my nephew was throwing an action figure across the room. I don't know how they can make the aliens look that good and drop the ball on Master Chief jumping off of a Jeep.
The elites were cute. The elites were thick boys. They were way too thick.
You thought thought they were too big?
Yeah, they were way too thick.
I mean, listen, I'll take that though. You know what I'm saying? But for them to do that well with the movement of them and how they looked and how they interacted with when he hits the Jeep and the Jeep flips over, and when Master Chief jumps off the
that particular was very noticeable how bad it looked.
Yeah, it was a half-ass super jump that
it was
he doesn't even have. They don't have super jumps. If I'm remembering correctly, they did a good job showing you how heavy their armor is. The way they drop in, they hit the ground like a sack of rocks basically. Right. But then you showed this weird super jump. It's like, okay, well, if he all right, but for me with the helmet thing, I'm not a Halo purist. I didn't play any of the campaigns. I was strictly on the multiplayer side. So for them to tell me that the storyline of the show is not directly based off of the games, it's their own storyline, to me, it's okay then for Master Chief to be a little different. Yeah. He's not the same Master Chief that you played in the games, if you know what I'm saying.
I think if
I don't disagree
you have
with that, but go ahead, One Shot.
If you've never watched any of the comic series or read any of the books or played the game, it's an excellent series for you to watch. But if you know any of the lore about it, you're going to be pissed off.
See, but that's where I think
I understand it. I get it.
I know the property. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I know the property enough that I'm aware of how things are supposed to look. That the general relationship between the Covenant, the Flood, and the Spartans, the USNC or UNSC, however it is. So I know enough of that to kind of just have my head right on everything. But for me, it didn't bother me so much that he took his helmet off. Again, though, like I said, I kind of hope that he puts it on a lot. And it's not just him without the helmet the entire time. The Mandalorian already showed us that you don't need to see the face. Pedro Pascal is a much bigger actor than Pablo Schreiber. And he did an entire season of Mandalorian and only took the helmet off for, 5 minutes in the finale? And that was it. And not one person has a problem with the entire season. So you don't need that. He could have done it with the helmet on.
Yeah, if they went like a few episodes and then maybe he did it,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
My issue is that they're not going to put the helmet back on him because they made it a point at the end of the episode to show he takes the helmet off. Can't track him anymore.
Right. Well,
they're looking for him. Yeah. He's not going to put the helmet back on. So, the problem with this.
Well, what you don't know is that he could always pull out the tracking device. Maybe that the girl he's with could figure out how to do it.
Yeah, she's gonna shoot it.
Yeah,
it's a good first episode. I have a funny feeling the series is going to go downhill.
I mean, well, listen, it could go anywhere right now, right? I felt like the first episode was excellent too. Really, just as like an overall kind of rating for it, I would easily give it like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the whole episode. I thought the action was good. The story was a good setup for what comes.
The ending left me with the idea of this will be less and less Halo every episode we go forward.
That's possible. That's,
I agree.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I will say some of the things I really liked, and this is more not so much that it's a Halo, like on a Halo perspective, more of like we're gamers and this is a game to screen adaptation. I love the way they incorporated game elements into the show in a way that fit, that didn't feel overdone. It wasn't shoved in your face. And just a couple of examples I can think of is, the bullets hitting the armor with the shield, but specifically using the shield as like the life. So he's getting bombarded and you hear the sound that you're low on life that you hear in the game. He takes cover and then we see a quick shot of his HUD and the shield regenerates, just like the game. I really love like little touches, like the one Spartan kills a Covenant soldier, picks up his gun and uses it to kill another one. Little moments like that. The kind of transition to first person was a smooth transition, and it was done just enough where you're like, oh shit, like that's cool. Wasn't overdone. Doom, so like
wasn't Doom with the rock.
Yeah. So like
things I will definitely give them is they got the sounds.
The sounds were awesome.
100%. They got the sounds down perfectly.
Ammo, perfect.
I do think just
the energy sword looked great.
Energy sword looked great, which in the trailer I thought it looked a little cartoonish, but in action on the show I thought it looked phenomenal. And I love the way they used it, where it was like a lightsaber kind of where it appeared, they stabbed somebody, went away. So it was really well done. I do wish we saw the needle gun, and we specifically saw the needle gun overload because that kind of happened all the time.
Yeah.
Big Pat says that,
and sticky grenades. I needed to see a sticky grenade, man.
It was a moment where I think he was throwing a grenade, and in my head I'm like, oh shit, a sticky grenade, and then it was just a regular grenade, and I'm like, come on, man, just one,
One issue I had was the rebels were lacing into the Covenant, and the bullets were just bouncing off of them like nothing was happening.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the Spartans drop in, light into them like their shield was just butter. Like it just went right through and took them out. And then he picks up, like the Warhog turret basically and lights into them and the bullets work that time. So like it was how did that happen?
Also, it seemed kind of odd.
Yeah.
An odd choice. Yeah. To me, that when the rebels was shooting the exact same gun, it did absolutely nothing to them.
It was strange to me.
He picked it up. All of a sudden, it's slow eyes, and he can destroy everybody with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
overall,
I guess they were trying to show that the Spartans were aiming better. I'm trying to justify it. I agree with you. I feel like it was a little.
They made a point to show the bullets hitting the shield, so they were hitting their target. It just wasn't doing anything.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Zuplex?
Overall, it was a good episode. I'm not hating on the episode at all. But as a series going forward, I'm a little bit trepidatious. I really feel like
big word.
First half of the episode, they showed us a Halo show.
Right.
It was a battle scene that was we're all talking about. Like the sounds were perfect. the limited amount of first person shooting they showed us, perfect. The little details of the field regenerating was perfect. A couple little CGI mishaps,
I love the way the weapons look too. Weapons look
great.
good.
Well, they look straight out of the game.
Spartans,
Mm-hmm.
CGI's done right on the Spartans. They look fantastic. In the second half of the episode, kind of goes off the rails a little bit for me. And all right, you got a little bit of mystery thing over this Covenant artifact that he finds. I that how that plays out, right? And it just kind of like gets more and more off the rails and more away from Halo.
I feel like
by the end.
I feel like I would say that it seems to me overall everyone's kind of in agreement that it started off fantastic. The show looked good, it sounded good, the action was good, everything was decent for episode 1. And right now, your opinion on episode 1 is whether or not you care if he took the helmet off. You know what I mean? One shot. You clearly don't want him to take the helmet off. So that kind of ruins the whole episode for you. For me, it wasn't that big of a deal, so it didn't really retract.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it ruined it
Same.
for me too.
Right.
Well,
Ruined it for me too.
let me
Yeah,
say,
go ahead.
because I'm a Halo nut. I've played the campaign, I played the multiplayer, and I'm caught up all the way into Halo Infinity. Matter of fact, I think it was Cypher that when we talked about it, and we were talking about how the series is going to be separated from the game, and then I heard that he took the helmet off, and I was absolutely fine with it, just as long if you're going to incorporate the series to the game more, then he should have never taken the helmet off. But
Right.
if the two are completely separated, so then let them continue the route that they're doing. I mean, I have not seen the episode, but from what I've seen so far, I'm very impressed, especially as a Halo fan. I mean, like you guys are talking about, saying the armor was looking great, the first player hub was looking great, all the weaponry was looking great. I haven't seen any of the Covenant yet.
Yeah, they hid that in the trailer. You didn't really see them at all.
Yeah.
But again, saying
They
like,
did look good. They did look good though. It didn't look like botched CGI or anything like that. It was solid.
No.
they didn't make it too boxy or too bulky.
No, I don't think
Nah, they look good, man.
I will say, I feel like it's. I feel like I could safely say that this is based off episode 1, easily one of the best, if not the best, video game to screen adaptation we've gotten. I mean, there was clearly a love for the source material that put into this that we lose in almost everything. Even the new Mortal Kombat movie, like decisions were made that made no sense. Here, it was literally a show made for fans. The only decision that kind of goes against that is the helmet removal. I guess we have yet to see if there really is a justified reason why he takes his helmet off, or if they really didn't need to do that and it was just a dumb decision so that we could see.
For me,
a pretty
it
face.
seemed like the way they were explaining it was that they were unable to then see what he was doing in the ship. It was a tactical move on his part, which fine. Like that's what it is.
They gave you a good reason for him to remove the helmet off. He was trying to connect with the person that he was with. She thought he was basically like a cyborg.
It was a trust thing.
And then he was trying to survive, and he's realizing that the more technology on him, the more he can be tracked. They really did do a good job of giving you a reason. But Scythe, you said it before. I mean, why couldn't they have done it a couple episodes in? Like really earn the removal of the helmet,
Or earn the reveal like we got in Mandalorian.
And again,
it
in
took us a while.
Mandalorian, when he's going to take his helmet off, like, everyone's kind of looking like, oh shit, I can't wait to see what he looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just Pedro Pascal. Like there was no specialness to it. It was just his face. But they really built up this kind of aura around him, and they didn't really give this show.
They made it a point to tell you how sacred the helmet is to the Mandalorians, and they didn't really do that in the Halo show. It was just a helmet.
I do like that. It seems like we're getting almost like the origin story of Cortana, based off the first episode, which is a kind of a good route to take it in, because when they showed her in the trailer, my one complaint when seeing the trailer was that instead of going with like a hologram for Cortana or like an actual like computerized kind of construct, it was just a person, and it almost makes sense.
It's a clone.
Right.
I think it was a clone,
We find out in the show that it looks like it's like a clone of that main scientist. I forget her name. And I guess I'm thinking that by the end of season 1, it'll go from an actual like person to the robotic computerized Cortana that we know from the games. That's what it seems like to me. That's my guess anyway.
Doughboy brought up the Prophet looking really good.
The Prophet looked amazing.
Looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
But he also said, will the elite warrior become the Arbiter?
I think so. I think so. I feel like there's a reason why we had a good glimpse of him and he survived. So my guess is he becomes the Arbiter. But I mean,
which one was that?
He was the one that, if I'm remembering correctly, he was the one that was in the cave and he kind of saw Master Chief touch that artifact or whatever it was, and then he ran away and flew off.
Gotcha.
So I think he's going to become the Arbiter. That'll be kind of, if they're smart, that'll be a setup for season 2. They'll save that for a future season, I would think.
It seems like to me that they like, all right, we can make a show about Halo. We don't want to we want to reach a broader audience, so let's make it more or less about the game, original story, and what other space guys with helmets do we have? Oh, Mandalorian. All right, so he needs a little sidekick. Let's have him save the girl in the first episode.
Yeah.
But unlike Mandalorian, we'll have him take the helmet off. This way everybody can see who he is like that. We'll really shock everybody. I don't know, man. I was really on board, like I said, the first half of the episode, and then more I was watching, the less interest I got.
It had its issues, and like they didn't do a great job, at least for me, to make me feel connected to the sidekick, as you call her. Like,
right?
If she died because of Order 72 or whatever that was, like whatever. It's fine. Like, I'm okay with it.
That was my other point, though, right? Is like, we had no connection to her. Why does he have such a connection that he needs to take his helmet off to cross to her? Master Chief would have just been like, all right, you don't want to live? Take that gun from you
but see now that's a good point, because like
knock you out.
Because even the vision he saw didn't he didn't see her in the vision. You know what I mean? So what was it about her that he decided, you know what, I don't want to kill this girl?
I think it was her telling him that he killed her mother.
Maybe that's
and like he's like getting humanized because he's remembering his past life or some bullshit.
Rampy 26 says Spartan 2 still had most of their memory. Hell, even some went back and seen that the clones had passed. Then they were brought back to the ONI. But that could be a part of the storyline for later in the season. Maybe that's what they're building towards going forward. And again, this is just episode 1. And to your point, Zuplex, I feel like, and this is kind of a negative, not really a positive, but Hollywood producer Steven Spielberg, whatever, they're not catering to fans. They're trying to take the game and build something that caters to TV watchers. And I think I said this to one of you guys, maybe One Shot, in our chat. Like, if you just took the game and translated it as accurately as possible to the screen, you're going to bring in fans. The story is already written out in a way where you can make a show out of it. It's compelling and all that kind of nonsense. Full-blown sci-fi. Anyone who's a sci-fi fan is going to be into the show. All you have to do is just translate the characters and do the action well, and it'll work.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
And to kind of comment on what you're saying, Scythe, about this whatever Tai Quan or whatever her name was, the human character. That's just an example of Hollywood executives thinking, oh, in order for people to like a show or to get into the show, we need a character that could be the audience surrogate. You read that everywhere. The audience surrogate. They don't know what's going on, so they have to explain things so that people who are watching the show are also explain things. This is the same thing that happened in Mortal Kombat. We had this character, fucking Cole, that nobody cared about, nobody wanted to see, but we needed.
I still don't care about him. He ruined the movie for me.
To me, he was the worst part of the movie, and it's very easily, this girl in Halo show very easily could be the worst part of the show. We don't need that character. We all are tuning in to watch Master Chief. If you want to give me an origin story of Master Chief, fine, but why do we need this human character? Let him be the audience surrogate. This is where they clearly didn't have a real fan of the games involved. Everyone probably liked the games, they have an understanding, but you need somebody who's a dork like us sitting there going, that's dumb. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Pull her out of here.
Doughboy in chat said the game was its own show. If they do it exactly the same, there is no reason to watch. Agree or disagree?
So I kind of do both, and I'll explain. Take game one, say, right, or take the games. You can break that up into multiple seasons throughout all the games, and you can add for the other characters. You can add side stories and B plots and whatever to flesh out
To flesh out the time. Yeah.
Perfect example, although it got really bad quickly. But if you guys watch True Blood, if you read the books, the True Blood show was based off of. The books are written from the main character of the show. They're written from her perspective. So you don't see any of the side stuff that's happening. You just see what she's going through. The show wrote out every single character, made up stories for all of them to make it kind of fit. And the first couple of seasons of the show were fantastic. You could do it if you do it the right way. But so in this case, Master Chief, we know his story. We know what he went through. We know what the Arbiter went through from Halo 2 and forward. But we don't know what any other character was doing. We're not there for those moments. So that's how you flesh out all these episodes. And those are things that people who play the games have not seen, and that keeps us watching. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion.
And listen, it's like anything else. Comic book movies, the same thing. Like if they gave us a shot-for-shot live action Dark Knight Returns, I'm gonna want to go and see it.
Well, Zack Snyder arguably gives us a shot-for-shot Watchmen, and I fucking love that movie.
Right? So, people are playing Halo Infinite right now. 4 or 5 million people.
Oh yeah, millions of people.
Yeah.
I think it dropped off a lot, but yeah, it's a lot.
How many people bought Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3? Oh, I stopped playing after 3, so I don't know what the rest of them are called.
They're garbage anyway. You got a PlayStation. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a game sold, if not hundreds of millions of copies.
Right.
Okay? Give us a shot for shot. If you get 10% of the people that grew up playing Halo to tune in and watch this, you're talking about big numbers.
Right.
Oh.
And no one's saying, I guess, no one's even saying that they literally have to go, hit every single story beat exactly the same. You can make little changes.
Oh.
Like, again, so another good example of a show that did this well.
Halo.
Look at Walking Dead. Walking Dead, I mean, listen, it got boring by season, say, 8 or 9. But for the first, 7 seasons maybe, it followed the comic books close enough that people who read the comics kind of knew what to expect, but they made enough changes that even those same people were guessing as to who was going to be the one who did this or who died or whatever, and it kept everyone involved. It kept people who read the comics and people who didn't excited and into the show. So it's not impossible,
And for like 6-7 seasons, it was the biggest show on television.
Right. I mean, I'm only trying to watch the new, I think past season 8 now because I kind of got bored of it. But
I stopped after 7.
Right, but that's a lot of people did though, because at that point it just kind of started getting a little monotonous. The comic books were basically coming to an end, so it wasn't as exciting. But I don't think. I mean, again, this is only episode 1. We don't know how much they're going to borrow from the games for the rest of the show. I want to say it's 10 episodes, but don't quote me on that because I could be wrong.
We looked it up. It's 9.
9 episodes. That's right. So I mean, we got a lot of story left. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So it really could become the best show ever, or the best video game show ever.
I hope
or
it's great.
It could go off the rails in episode 2, like I think Pat said in the chat, and we might end up hating it before half the season's over. So
I hope they didn't blow their load in episode 1.
Well, that's the fear.
And now it's just
that's what I'm worried about.
The fear. You figure my thing is my biggest fear is that they had a big action scene for the first, say, 20-25 minutes of episode 1. Are we just going to get nothing but dialogue for the next 3 or 4 episodes? It could be good if it's done well, but
is it Tony Stark and Nebula just sitting in a spaceship for a couple hours,
trying to survive for a few hours? Then it's going to be
my thing is, looks like they spent a lot of money on that first episode, so they had to cut a budget somewhere.
Right.
So the next couple is going to be lacking in
but
craziness.
But the one good thing is that in the trailer, the majority of what we saw in the trailer happens in the first episode. So they kept a lot from us, which means that there's a lot left to see that we don't even know is coming. So that could be a good thing.
Yeah, no, that definitely could be a good thing, or it's a terrible thing.
Right. Well, we don't know.
Only time will tell on this one.
I just want to see the Spartans working together, kicking ass, and just demolishing the Covenant. Like, I don't need a crazy story.
Right.
I just want to see them just beat the crap out of them, man.
And
That's it.
And seeing the Flood come in at some point and just throw the entire thing out of whack, which I feel like that's not going to happen until probably the finale. It's probably going to be like how it ends. Yeah. Well, the trailer shows what looks like the Flood at some point. There's one quick shot in the trailer where you see the scientist, the main scientist lady, walking through like a lab or something, and it's just being overrun with the Flood. At least that's what I thought it was the Flood. It looked like the Flood to me. So it looks like that'll happen at some point. But Rampy says the action was done good. Just that the chain gun got a power up when Chief picked it up, which we talked about that before. It really did. Like, when the humans use it, I guess they weren't pulling the trigger as hard as they could. And Master Chief, he knows how. He's got that gorilla grip. You know what I'm saying? So
sniper rifle looked so friggin' good to me.
It looked great.
Again,
I was so excited when I saw it.
Weapons and all those.
Yeah, they did a great job.
See, I'm just waiting to gravity hammer into the show.
Maybe
that's fun because I remember playing multiplayer with that gravity hammer. I was the king of that gravity hammer.
Yeah,
I was hoping
you either loved or hated.
I was actually hoping at one point to see Master Chief pick up an energy sword, start running around, and just slicing and dicing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember playing the multiplayer and then having the gravity hammer and playing blitzball. What I used to Barry Bonds the hell out of people, just like 20 feet fly in the air. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Sit crouch in a corner, somebody turns around, and you just whack.
You know what I'm glad we didn't see?
Melt them.
The one thing that I'm glad we really did not see, which is something that any movie made based off of a first-person shooter or really a video game ever has always had this specific Easter egg for gamers. I'm glad we didn't see anybody get teabagged after getting shot. Because
if they're gonna do it, this is the show to do it because it's where
I don't want them to do it.
Part of where it started.
I don't want them to do it
between Call of Duty and Halo. It birthed teabagging.
But even in the movie Free Guy, there's a scene where someone gets killed and then teabagged. And I'm just like, come on, man! Like we get it, all right? We all teabag somebody online. Let's fucking
Halo 4. You send out
it's never not funny. It's just one of those things. To me, it's never not funny.
I mean, that's not a bad.
What was that?
See, but you know what the thing is though with the series, because like you guys said earlier, the game was starting to slip, because people are now start getting bored of the story, all this and that, whatever. But this is actually very genius that they released the show, because now it's going to entice all these new younger generations to come in and start playing the game, and then start getting really into the whole Halo saga.
Not even younger generations. I actually, when the show was over, I enjoyed it so much that I literally was like, I kind of want to play Halo right now. And I think I turned on my Xbox Game Pass on the computer and played a little bit.
I played 2 rounds of Slayer.
Right.
I had to do it.
I turned on Halo Infinite and tried to take Master Chief's helmet off, and it didn't work.
There's no button for that. There's no code either. Rampy26 says, what? No, teabagging was a staple of Halo. And Super Tim Tendo says, everyone loves a good teabag.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm alone in that opinion.
You'll get it if they ever show Spartans fighting Spartans.
Which they probably will. I mean, I feel like at some point
it's going to be Spartans hunting down Master Chief.
That's what I was going to say. Those 3 Spartans that were part of the Silver Team, they were ordered to protect him, but I feel like by next episode they're going to be ordered to go out and get him and capture him, maybe alive or whatever. But I really, we're going to get it. I mean, you can't have an entire show, a Halo show, and have with multiple Spartans and not have them fight each other. You need a red blue.
I think those 3. I think those 3 are gonna link up with him and actually help him, and you're gonna have them create new Spartans or whatever to go after them.
I agree that'll happen at some point, but it's like the Marvel or comic book superhero trope when the heroes are near each other for like the first time, they have to fight. So when they send them out at first, they're all gonna fight, and then at some point, he'll spare their lives or something, and then it'll come to an understanding.
No, you know what they'll do is they'll make they'll make them touch the object.
Yeah, and then suddenly everyone will be on the same page, and the finale is just going to be nothing but an army of Spartans attacking the UNSC, and
What?
ended up taking him
All
down.
crying because
What's the actual name of that?
I don't remember.
Object.
They call it the artifact. I don't even remember what did they
I
even
was
call it
calling
anything in
it
the
too,
show?
yeah.
I don't know if they called it anything yet.
I don't know if they called it in the show, but I was asking if they called it anything in the game, if it
Oh.
was even in the game.
I don't know the games well enough to know that. That would be a Zuplex or one shot question.
Yeah, I'm not
Steve,
sure.
yeah,
Talking
you got
about-
anything on that?
What was that?
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the name right now. Like, it's been that long because, I mean, they had the name for it. I believe it was at Halo 2 when they first named it.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Halo 2 or Halo 3.
I'm not sure.
They really talked about it.
I feel like they just call it the artifact. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was like a proper name to it in the games at all.
I'm
The
sure
campaign.
there is. We'll get it at some point. So, Rampy26 says the object is not in the games or ain't in the games. If I'm reading it,
Oh, it's not?
We typed it. So yeah,
Interesting.
so I guess that's
Okay.
maybe that's something made for the show specifically. So
They had to find some way to give him feelings so he would take his helmet off. So
feelings.
yes, that works.
They had to
Yeah,
give
they
him
fucked up his
feelings.
personality.
You think they fucked
Was
up
that
his personality total? Like completely?
They fucked up his personality.
Really?
I kind of agree with him. He's supposed to be like the Mandalorian. Before he met Grogu.
Right.
Yeah.
But what did they?
I agree.
But what did they?
I agree with that.
Because he cracked one joke, which was a bad joke. Otherwise, he was all about the mission. You know what I mean? Up until the very end. So what did they? How do they screw up his personality?
Is him even going off mission the way he does didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, shit. The only person he cared about was Cortana.
Well, again, I think Sight
Now
said it
the only
before.
person
They
he cares
should
about
have,
is Quan Han.
but they should have, maybe given us 3 episodes of him in the helmet
Yeah.
completely. Kind of build up the
Show
relationship.
Master Chief going on like a mission or two, not just that opening 15 minutes.
Right.
No, dude, just so fucking anxious to show his face.
Yeah, it was quick. I agree. I didn't hate it because I'm not like a super fan in that aspect, but I do understand it, and it was soon. They should have dragged it out a little bit.
I'm not a Halo super fan either. Listen, I used to play Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, but once Call of Duty came out, I switched over and I never looked back. After that, I didn't want to play Halo ever again, to be honest. The thing about it is, still, in my opinion, him taking the helmet off in the way he did and the way, without any real explanation as to why he needed to take his helmet off. We're grasping at straws. We're like, oh, it's because he wanted to show trust and save her. And come on, that's not a good enough reason for him to take the helmet off.
Who's grasping at straws over here?
I think that's what he said though. I think it was like a trusting. I think he actually said it. He's like, oh, you want to shoot me? You got to shoot me right here because you can't penetrate the helmet.
A good enough reason.
No,
I'm not saying it's a great reason. I'm just saying that he gave the reason.
You're saying
I was gonna say, because I guess as you call it, I guess I'm a super fan because I mean, hell, I played all the games. I mean, I was even part of an MLG Pro team for when MLG was first coming out, and all I did was play Halo. And
That's cool.
As we were talking about before, the show and the game is completely separated. So them showing them off with the helmet off too soon, yeah, I believe it was a little too soon. They could have waited maybe towards the end of the season. I don't even think mid-season. They could have waited maybe to the end.
I feel like if they waited to the end of the season, that would have been ideal for a lot of fans.
Yeah.
I just, the Pablo Schreiber basically said in an interview, he flat out tried to say that you can't do a show without showing your face, otherwise no one's going to connect with the main character. And we all called bullshit on it because Mandalorian is one of the best shows, one of the best new shows out right now. And we're now going into season 3, and he still showed his face 10 minutes total out of all those shows. 5 minutes.
look at Dredd.
Dread's another
This
one.
guy just
Carl Urban and Dread.
wants to be recognized as the
Carl Urban and Dread.
wants to be recognized as the dude that's in Halo.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's really what I think it is. And I think the studio, they paid this guy a lot of money, and they are like, yo, you need to bring fans. And he's like, well, I can't do that unless I show my porn stash.
Everybody wants this guy to be Wolverine. Get out of here, bro.
Thank you. I don't agree with it at all. I don't agree with it at all. I felt like I was going to get a lot of hate if I said it on the GGEN group on Facebook, but I do not see him as Wolverine.
I said I didn't hate it, but
No way.
if he's not Wolverine, I'm not gonna cry about it. Like I don't care.
No way. He would be a decent Sabretooth because his brother played Sabretooth already. Otherwise,
But
no.
He'd be a decent Sabretooth.
What'd you say?
He wouldn't even be a decent Sabretooth.
Listen, he's a better Sabretooth than Wolverine. I'll tell you that much.
He just needs to fuck off somewhere back to Den of Thieves.
Orange is the new black.
Yeah, he should go back to being a prison guard.
he could go back into the wires, just selling crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not knocking him as an actor. I think he's a good actor, honestly. I love him in American Gods, to be honest.
He was great in American
Guys ever
Gods.
watched
He was really good in American Gods.
American Gods, love him in that. Like, he's not going to be a good Wolverine if they make him Wolverine. Buy him as Master Chief a little bit. And the way you show his face as Master Chief is his helmet gets damaged in battle.
Right.
He takes a rocket to the face. Helmet gets can't see out the visor, and so he has to take the helmet off in battle.
Yeah.
A much better way than, I swear, shoot me in the face. Oh,
I agree.
We're best friends now.
Again,
come on.
I agree.
The Mandalorian. He got damaged in battle. He didn't think he was going to survive. And the robot was like, look, I could save you, but you got to take that shit off. And he eventually did for 30 seconds in the show. And it was one of the best moments of the show. And then he put it back on, and he went again for however many episodes before taking the helmet off again.
Yeah.
It's just I understand, I guess, the idea of needing to show your face, but again, no. So here's the thing: if the show was based on Master Chief only, no sidekick, no human character like that, it was just on him, you could maybe understand a little bit more why they wanted him to take his helmet off so we could see his emotions or whatever it is. But if you're gonna put the human character in there for us to connect to, then it's just more of a reason that he does not need to take his helmet off. They really, I mean, like I said, I think they found a good reason for it. They explained there was a good moment in the show when they took it off. They had a good, it wasn't unearned, I guess is the word I'm trying to say. But I still think they could have gone longer without it.
He doesn't need to take his helmet off to show his emotions. Not at all. If they would have had a good actor who can express themselves through vocals,
well,
there's no need to take the helmet off.
That's true. But all right, guys, we talked about this enough.
I think it was a good enough reason.
We talked about this enough. Let us know what you guys think in a Facebook group about Halo. We're going to be basically every single week, every Tuesday, we're going to do a deep dive into the newest episode. So stick with us. Let us know what you think as the season goes on. Buttersworth,
we're going to be able to
make sure you
Halo
watch
and Moon Knight every week.
Yeah, Halo and Moon Knight is going to be the majority of our talks. So expect a lot of yelling and
Yeah.
screaming at each other.
It's like Wednesday, Thursday, back to back, right?
I think,
Yeah.
aren't they both Wednesdays?
Wednesday.
Yeah, they're both
Wednesday.
They both are out on Wednesdays.
I thought Halo comes out Thursday this week.
If it's Thursday this week, that makes my life a little easier because I don't have to watch them both tomorrow. But either way, we'll have them both watched. I'm doing reaction videos. I know Scythex might be doing reaction videos. We're starting a Patreon and all that stuff if you want to see the uncut reactions. If you join the TikTok, I'll be putting up some clips from the reactions, from the best clips from the reactions on there. And then, like I said, every Tuesday we'll do some deep dives and reviews into these shows, some theories and whatnot, along with everything else. Thank you guys for jumping in, Buttersworth. Thank you for jumping into the podcast. Thank you,
Buttersworth.
for giving us your feedback on Halo and your history. And for everyone else, thank you for jumping in and taking the hour and what are we at here? Hour and 23 minutes. It's pretty good. Might be the shortest podcast we've had. I'm a little surprised actually.
We got anything else to talk about? This is too short.
No, definitely not because I have video games to play. So no, but again, keep an eye out. Multiversal podcast will be out. I think next weekend, right? Is the Scythe?
The weekend after. It's every other week.
All right, so 2 weekends from now will be Multiversal podcast. And then, I mean, we just got a lot of stuff happening. A bunch of games on Twitch. I do plan on going back into Horizon at some point. Sifu. I know One Shot's getting his gaming set up and running. And yeah, I might actually do some.
All I want from you is to watch Mayans. Just start watching it.
Start watching Mayans.
Yeah.
Just start watching Mayans.
I did start Peaky Blinders, but maybe I'll start watching Mayans too. Is Mayans on Netflix?
No.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
It's Hulu.
All right,
they might have the old ones on Netflix, the old seasons, but Hulu you can keep up with all the new stuff. It's
Hulu.
not.
Okay.
Everything's Hulu. Okay.
All right, maybe if it's on Hulu, I can maybe jump in, and yeah, and that's it. Also, for anyone who's not aware, Morbius comes out this Thursday. All the early reviews of Morbius are saying it's garbage, which we all kind of expected because it looks like shit. But I'm gonna try and go see it on Thursday anyway with the captain, and we'll talk about that too next week. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping in, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.